Go there, Jim. At least it's not your
Okay.
birthday and you're showing off your new clothes there.
Yeah, not quite
Jim.
that bad. Nope. Just from the neck up. That's all.
Just from the neck up. That's okay. Yeah, hopefully Lloyd will be back with us here in a minute. There's Dwayne
Dwayne.
lurking in there. How you doing, Dwayne?
Just trying to figure this thing out. That's it. Doing good.
Yeah, what did they have an update? Everybody's got technical difficulties this morning, huh?
Yeah, it seemed that way.
Yeah, they may have.
I haven't seen them update for several months now, so who knows who's fiddling with what.
I had one last week, but I had an update on my computer this morning, and that caused me other problems. So here we are.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Here's Lloyd. Can you hear us, Lloyd? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay.
There you
Yes,
are.
we
Yeah.
can hear you.
All right.
A bad connection there.
Okay, that's all
Doesn't
right.
matter, just block the number, whatever it is. Yeah, just block it. That's what I did. Just block it. It's a scam. All right, bye.
I don't think we're a scam here, Harry.
Hi. Oh, I didn't know the mute was on. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Lloyd, I was just getting ready to tell you before everybody came on. I got a message from Kathy this morning. She's got a medical emergency with a family member, so she's not going to be joining us. I don't know if Chris or Christina will be here, so we may just be meeting ourselves this morning.
Okay.
And she just 2 minutes ago, she sent a message.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So we wish her the best. She's in our prayers and thoughts, and her, hopefully everything will turn out okay.
Yeah, hopefully so.
So
I
anyway,
guess,
we can go ahead and talk. Today is, what is today? Friday, August 20th, 2021. So
Yes, it is.
another beautiful day in St. Louis.
A little humid, but hey, it's August in St. Louis, so what do you expect?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not raining and it's not 95 yet. I haven't heard what the forecast is for today. But
If you don't like it, just put your temperature on Celsius and it feels a lot better.
a cool 23 or 21 degrees. Yeah.
Yes. Let's see.
Anyway. Guess we take care of a few announcements first, then we can go on and just do our haves and wants until somebody from Davis and Travaglini jump on here. But yeah, I want to talk about the fact that we're going to have our first in-person meeting of the year on September 21st. That's the third Tuesday in September. And we're meeting at the Moolah Shriners Center. We've got the Oasis room there. They're located at 12545 Fifi Road. If you got your newsletter, it's got an article and a little information about it on the page 3 of our newsletter this month. And we'll have it again in the September newsletter. More details, and I'm going to draw up a little map showing the best place to park. That's a big facility. There's a couple of parking lots, and I'll show you around the routes to take, the best place to park to get to our room. But it's a nice, large facility. Plenty of room for social distancing, as it does have a maximum capacity of, I think it was 225 or 250, which we haven't hit that yet, but hey, who knows, in the future we might. We include our Zoom audience, which we're going to do a hybrid, having in-person and doing a hybrid. I think we'll probably, we're going to start at 6:30 with Ted Drew's Frozen Custard, and we'll have a first hour of just some networking, having your custard, getting to connect with old friends and meet new ones. And then we'll probably we usually start our main speaker about 7:30. So we'll probably start the Zoom portion a little later, maybe 7:15, 7:30 in that range. We'll work out those details. We'll get it. It'll be on the Zoom notification when we send that out. Anyway, and we do have Kathy Davis is going to be our main speaker. She's going to be doing agreed to do a ask the attorney night. Not everybody has come on Friday here. We got the opportunity to ask an attorney every Friday. So I know I've talked to a lot of people. Someone will call me and say, hey, when are we getting back together? Some people that haven't joined us on Zoom. I ran into one of our members in the grocery store the other day, and hey, when are we getting the first question? When are we getting back together again live and in person? So I tell them, hey, have you got your newsletter? I said, yeah, I did. I read the first article. I'll read page 3 and you'll get the whole scoop on it. Anyway,
Is it going to be masked or unmasked?
mask available. Depending on what the St. Louis County guidelines are, we're hoping they don't limit us on capacity, but even if they do, our room is plenty large enough for probably what the crowd that we'll have. But I'm still going to be wearing a mask. Yeah, my wife and I are being very careful. We both have underlying health conditions, so we're still being very careful. We had a close scare 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago on Saturday at a party. That husband and wife were supposed to be there. Finally, we verified we're going to go out to dinner. Say, well, okay, we'll go out to dinner. Hey, is everybody vaccinated? That's going to be they had a separate room at the restaurant. Oh yeah, and they said everybody's checked with everybody. Everybody's vaccinated. Okay, good. Okay, I guess we'll go. But then after we got there, just the wife of the couple that invited us was there, and I said, well, where's Larry? Where's your husband? And he's home with a bad cold. And we said, oh, a bad cold. I'm sorry to hear that. But in the back of our mind, we're thinking, what's going on? Yep, turns out the following day, he tested positive for COVID. She tested negative, fortunately, and she tested again later in the week. She was still negative. They were living in different parts of their house, quarantining in different parts of the house. So we were on kind of pins and needles for a few days there to see if we had possibly been exposed.
So is tonight's meeting on Zoom?
Tonight's meeting, the next,
Or is it next month's?
the next month's is, we don't have did you miss Tuesday? We met Tuesday. We had Harper Zelenko from Habitat for Humanity was this past Tuesday.
Okay.
It was our last Zoom only. So our September meeting is going to be hybrid, Zoom and in person.
Okay.
You want to get the custard, you got to show up in person. So you're okay with buying your own custard, you can do that and still enjoy it while we're listening to Kathy. And I'm going to try to be taking questions from the Zoom audience too, and hopefully one of the board members can sit with we got a tech person that's going to be operating the mics and the camera and stuff, and hopefully we'll have one of our board members on a computer to field your questions and transfer those to Kathy.
Mhm.
So, well, since nobody from Davis and Travaglini have gotten on here yet, I'll open it up here for haves and wants. I guess I just say how I am. I'm Lloyd Allender with the St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association, and this is the 21st it's the 20th of August. Doing a little haves and wants here on Friday. So, somebody got anything real estate related that you're have something to sell or a service to offer to real estate investors, or if you got something to you're looking to buy or need a service from somebody. We've had some good referrals to contractors that people have used in the past. If you're looking for a particular skill, maybe we got somebody on here that's that use somebody that could recommend him. I mean, I've
What is
had.
the haves and wants segment of this?
This is it. Yeah, we're Mrs. Davis, Kathy Davis is not on today. And so we're just doing haves and wants right now. Marvell, you got something you want to share with us?
Well, since I'm still new and learning, the only thing I have is CBD.
Well, we got a lot of folks here with a lot of experience that might be able to, if you got a specific question that you're struggling with right now, maybe
Well,
we
with
got,
CBD. Well, with CBD.
Hey
No, no.
Lloyd, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, I'm looking for a recommendation on insurance companies. So the last couple of weeks I mentioned that I'm buying an investment property to fix and flip. But as I'm looking into different companies, I'm continuing to get the same question of, hey, will it be done in 90 days? Well, I don't think it will be done in 90 days. So that's usually kind of the stopping point, and then they kind of point me to other different companies. So has anyone had any success with a company that they could recommend for insurance for a flip or a rehab that would take longer than 90 days?
I used Shelter, if that helps.
Shelter, okay.
Have you checked with Jeremy?
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Jeremy Heiser, he's one of the sponsors on our website. He's made presentations at our some of our meetings before, and he always says he has available
Yeah, so
insurance for vacant and rehabbing properties.
yeah, and he's familiar with what we do since
yeah.
he is. Yeah,
Mhm.
So he might be able to
Right.
help you, Amber.
He insures a lot of our people in our group.
I'm assuming, so I've seen it before the presentation, but contact information on the website. I assume it's there, but
Yeah, you're breaking up on
Breaking
us.
up.
But yeah, we did it down the right-hand side of our website, STLREIA.com. Or is it the right? No, it's the
Hey,
right-hand side.
Amber, I can send you his phone number if you want me to. Email it to you.
Or you
Okay.
can put it in the chat maybe. So we got somebody.
I can do that. Let me
Here.
grab it here. Okay.
So anybody else have a service they're looking for?
Do any one of y'all have experience with boarding homes?
No, just for having like a rooming house or
Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, it's a rooming house.
renting out rooms.
Yeah.
No, I have not. Possibly somebody has. I know a few years back, I was at a Mr. Landlord conference, and the person I was sitting next to, I think she was from Houston, was doing that very successfully. Was buying houses and just renting out rooms, and they were sharing the kitchen area. And I was surprised.
Right.
I would think at a college, if you were close to a college campus, and I think she did have a few college students that were doing that, would be a popular option. But yeah, she said no, she had other just single people that were looking for a place.
Yep.
And she was very successful at it. In fact, I keep thinking one of these days when I'm down to Houston visiting my brother-in-law, I'm going to give her a call. I still got a number in my contact to see how that works. I'm a little detail. Because when I've had my 4 family buildings in the past down in South St. Louis, they have issues with neighbors, living next door to each other, don't always get along, or somebody upstairs is making more noise. And I don't hate to get in the middle of, neighbor squabbles. And when you live in even closer quarters, I was wondering how she handles that. That's one of the issues that I'd be concerned about, making sure you had a homogeneous group of people that get along well.
Yeah. Well, you can have what they call a nuisance clause in your lease.
Oh yeah. There's ways to do it, to handle it legally. But
Mhm.
when it comes to getting rid of somebody that's being a bother to everybody else, it may take a little more than just showing them the piece of paper that they signed when they moved in.
Well, can we put a no squatters clause in the lease too?
Oh yeah. You can put any kind of clauses.
Well, I'm gonna put them all.
Yeah.
That would be a great question.
You just go.
Hey,
That would be a great question for Kathy.
Mhm. If she doesn't come on today or sometime in the future, next the 3rd Tuesday of September, Yeah, be good, because that's, everybody's got different clauses they put in, like, or want to put in their lease, and that's one of their things she answers a lot of, or what kind of clause and how you might word, be careful on how you word certain clauses, so you're not discriminating against anybody.
Right.
What about the occupancy permit?
Yeah, I don't know, occupancy permit is another one. If you're in, I don't know how, St. Charles, city of St. Charles, they would probably have an issue with that. They've got issues with lots of things. I'm not sure about St. Louis City and County. Anybody have any experience with their, knowing their occupancy permit? If they allow that kind of thing, having separate residents?
My mother have a 4-family flat in the city, and none of her people have an occupancy permit.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how that worked, but where I'm at, you need one.
Specific locations. I have a couple properties in the cities and they are not required. So you just have to go on the city's website to figure out if it's required or not.
Really? Okay. Oh, that's
Alright.
nice
Is
to
the
know.
Central West End required?
In the
I
county,
have a
it requires
question.
it.
Oh, you had the question?
Yeah, for
Oh.
the tenants want to apply for those rent assistance. So what kind of the limit does it put on the landlord? So like I heard they tried to send me the email, the website link saying, oh, you have to fill this information on the website. You cannot do this, cannot do that, and you have to put your account number, bank account number there, blah blah blah. So I was wondering how do you guys think about that, and how do you feel about this, and anybody do that or not do that?
I haven't had any.
Require account number
experience.
because they can deposit directly, you know.
Yeah, they need your account. Yeah, because they want to do a direct deposit. I understand that. But from according to what Kathy's been saying is that you need to read carefully the documents before you sign and accept it, because generally, if you accept some rental assistance, you're saying generally they expect you to say that covers the rent for everything that's owed you in the past, and maybe something in going forward in the future. But and so you're limiting if it's only a partial payment of what they owe you in the past. I think you're probably going to have to sign something that says you're going to accept that as payment in full, and that's probably all you're going to be getting. And then, if they have trouble in the future not meeting up to their expectations, then you could go ahead and start an eviction process. But you couldn't start anything right away if they're paying. If you agree that amount makes them current on their rent. So you have to be willing to say, if it's only partial payment, you have to be willing to say, yeah, I'll accept a partial payment is better than no payment.
Oh, and also, you do not have to provide your bank information. They do give you an option, so they can mail it to your house or your PO box, so whatever you choose to.
Okay, good. Oh yeah, and the other thing, if you got the email, I should have mentioned that. You got the email for today's session here for our legal update and Has and Wants. There was also a segment on there that we announced. We kind of heard late in the week that the city of St. Louis is having an event for tenants to go to and apply for rental assistance. And if you got that email, you can take that, click on the link at the bottom of that section down the right-hand side of the email. There were two. One had a link at the top for logging onto this session, but there was a link for getting into. They had all the information on the other EHOC assistance program that was doing today. I think I started at 8 o'clock and going till 6 this evening, or Sarah at 10 and going to 6 this evening, and then Saturday from 10 until 2, and it's at the community college, Forest Park Community College campus in the gymnasium.
Mine in the county.
Yours is in the county? Okay, I'm not sure what,
Yeah.
there was a link in there on their site too, for if you were in the county there's another site to go to what assistance were available through the St. Louis County Library. Had some information, what you can do for the county.
I just feel, is it worse to do all those things? And I have 100% occupancy rate, and the only couple of them owe me a small amount of money, but they want to use that to pay for that. But I don't feel like being bothered by that, but they keep insisting on it. So I'm just curious.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if the county might be getting lax. Sound like this is going to be a little more easy process. It sounds like it's the city that's been bogged down in the process. Like you said, they want this information, they want that, and then they got, you got to give them some information, and then you call them back a week later and they've lost your file, and so you got to fax it to them again, or something. They've had issues, so they're trying to get everybody that's involved in it, and not necessarily the landlord, but this is an event for the tenants to go to. They need to bring all the paperwork of if they got an eviction notice, if they got whatever information they need, and then from their landlord, and they need to get that together and bring it in. When they register, it'll tell them what they need to bring. And then they do need to register for it. They just can't show up at the door. So like there was a link to register, and we'll give them all the information what they need to bring in. So hopefully that's a successful event and get some more people off of just sitting on their hands waiting for something to happen.
Registration link in there in the chat there. Anybody wants to click on it. It goes right to the registration. No, that's not the same info on the email.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I do that too. Yeah, there was a link on the email that went to the registration site. That's probably the one that's there. Thank you, John. So yeah, if anybody wants to capture that, if you got tenants that are behind, go ahead and send that link to in the city. So go ahead and send that link to them and let them know about it. And so hopefully you can get you some help for some of your city tenants. So anybody got anything else? What else? What else happening here? Anybody doing any deals? Anybody got?
I got a question for you, Lloyd. When we log on now, it says they're recording this, and that's fine with me, but it also indicated that recording could be used by anybody for any other purposes, and that kind of bothers me. Is what's going on?
The only purpose that we use it for, John posted on our website for our members, and that's in our members only section. So it's not out for the general public. So if we have a member that didn't make it on one of these calls, they can go, they have to be a member and log on to our site, and then they can get access to our library of past recordings of past meetings.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, if you're okay with that, then that's basically that's all we use it for. No, we won't be sharing it outside of our website.
Okay.
Okay.
Good answer. And another side thing is, I was coming back and from being out on a trip this past week, and one of the stewardesses, we got to talking about the COVID thing, and she said 3 of their stewardesses that were fully vaxxed got COVID and died, and she was very, very iffy about why would you get even vaccinated. So I understood her point.
Well, from what I hear, 97% of the people in the hospital with COVID were not vaccinated. So
yeah, I know they're advertising that. I think that they're not telling us the truth.
They're bringing there are breakthrough cases, but and no vaccine is 100%. You know, I get the flu vaccine every year, but there's been some times when you do get the flu. The flu vaccine is less than 95% effective. So it's more like 60%, I think, 60 or 70% at the best. They're just taking their best guess at what's going to be the dominant dominant flu vaccine out there. So anyway, yeah, it happens. In fact, my friend that I could tell you, my close calls, we were all vaccinated, expecting to get together, but he got sick before we got together and didn't make it to the party. So,
And he was a vaxxer, right?
he was vaccinated. Everybody that was going to be there was vaccinated. And we verified that ahead of time as well. My wife would have been very hesitant to go if somebody unvaccinated was going to be there. So it happens.
Dwayne, yes,
Hey,
you're
Lloyd.
absolutely.
Go ahead, Ann.
Yeah, so
Just
I had a
want-
question. It was gonna be, I asked the question in the chat. Has anyone had success with the property tax credit?
I'm not sure what that is, but I'm
What is that?
interested.
It's where your tenants can apply for a tax credit if you're gonna increase their rent based on your property taxes being increased. So the tenant can apply for, I'll call it a grant, if you will. It's between $750 to, I think it's like $1,000 here in Missouri.
And is it a statewide program?
It is, yep. So there are requirements. They can be 100% disabled, a senior citizen, and there's a third one, but I'm assuming, I can't remember, but I believe it's based on income. So I was just curious because I'm looking into it. But if anyone else has had success with getting that money.
I have not. I wasn't even aware of it. So
You
Yeah,
know, is that a
there's-
one-time payment or is that a ongoing payment?
I believe they send the tenant a check, which they would then in return, either they can send you the lump sum or they can pay you, monthly because you're going to increase their rent to cover the property taxes. So, I mean, it's both, if you will.
okay.
That sounds like it's different than the senior tax credit. If y'all have heard of that, supposedly if you're over 65 or disabled, the state will reimburse you a certain amount, like 750 or 1,000 of taxes, whether you're an owner or a renter. But you'd have to go look to the state website to find out about that. That sounds a little different than what she's saying, because that would be reimbursable to, I think, the person who fills out the form. But then again, how many renters pay real estate taxes? I don't know. That's a little confusing.
Well,
Yeah,
no, they don't pay the taxes, right? You're asking for an increase in the rent based
Right.
on you, the owner,
Right.
increasing it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just mentioning the senior tax credit in case anybody out there is looking for it. Even renters can get it, I think. So I'm not sure how that works for renters, though.
Yeah, I have heard of the program Bruce is talking about as far as, but I thought that was strictly homeowners. Maybe I didn't fully understand it if it was for renters also, but it sounds like it may be part of that, maybe the same program that I wasn't aware it applied to renters. But I do, if I'm like everybody, I'm not sure if I'm like everybody else, but when my releases come due, I look, if I've got a good tenant that's willing to stay, I usually offer them a renewal on their lease. I look at what my taxes and insurance are going up because all my loans are all fixed rate loans. So that's my recurring expenses. So whatever taxes and insurance have gone up since the last lease we signed, I'll offer them a lease with it just increasing for taxes and insurance. So just so I explain it to the tenant, just so I'm not going backwards, losing ground from because our costs have gone up and I can't really offer you. If I offered you the same rent, I'm netting less than I did off your the last rent. So as long as we were netting last month's or the last 2 years, I'm good with that as long as we can just make an adjustment for what taxes and insurance have gone up. You do
Yeah, I
that
do
a lot,
that too, Lloyd.
Yeah, okay.
And I also throw in sewer because I pay sewer.
Yeah, that's a utility. Any utilities that you're paying, on a recurring basis. Yep, that will go in there too.
Then I ask for 1% for me.
Oh, you do.
It's not
Well,
much.
I just round it. I might round it up to the nearest dollar is what I usually do. Because that may be my 1%, I guess.
Yeah, it's not much. Something.
No. And a lot of times if it's only a couple dollars, yeah, I just did. I just offered a little condo that we got here. I went and looked at what the taxes went up. I don't think it was more than $4 or $5. And so per year, and that's how I said, I just offer them at least to renew it at the same.
Okay, so question, if you go out and have par negotiate down and your taxes go down and you refund the money? Because I don't.
I have not used par lately here. In St. Charles County, it's a little, or St. Charles, yeah, city and county, it's a little harder to negotiate. They've got their figures down a little better. And they're not near as negotiable, at least not recently. Yeah, early on in my investing career, yeah, I did get St. Charles to come down on some of the properties where I can make a good case for looking at surrounding what the taxes were on the surrounding properties. It raised mine more. I usually didn't buck them if it was 5 to 7% increase. But hey, we're in St. Charles County here. But the ones that were 10, 15, and 20% increases, yeah, I went after those with everything I had to get them down. And even on those, I wasn't as successful as I wanted to be.
So you do all that work yourself?
Yeah, in the past, I always have. Of course, I've never had to take it to the state. So I've always gotten some satisfaction at the local level, either through my initial visit with somebody in the assessor's office, or if I wasn't successful there, I have taken them to their the board of apportionment that they have that you meet before you go to the state. If you don't get satisfaction, then you go to the state of Missouri in Jeff City. But I've usually gotten something from either the first visit or going to the board meetings.
If you go to the state, do you have to have attorney for LLCs?
If you take it to the state, I know you do have to have an attorney. That's the one reason I haven't, because most of my properties are in LLCs. So I try to get as much satisfaction as I can at the local level, at the county level. And then if not, yeah, you might have to, if you're really serious and you feel you got a great case for it, yeah, you might have to get an attorney to take it at the state level for you.
What about if you're a single only member of the LLC? Still it applies, or?
I don't think that applies. No.
I think if you're an LLC, I think you still have to use an attorney, period.
Yep. But that's part of the services PAR provides for no more cost.
I was going to say, I thought PAR offered that. If it gets down to that, they've got an attorney that takes a whole stack of appeals out to Jeff City, probably. Yep. So they can save you on cost, attorney's cost there. Yeah, and what's and you pay them based on how's that work?
Oh, it's real simple on their website. It's half of whatever they save you, they get for 1 to 2 years, depending on what year they argue it. And that's it. And any benefit after that's mine. And so I just leave mine with them and tell them, just send me bills when I've made, you cut my money down. And
they send you a bill wherever they need your payments due. Okay, that's good.
They'll look at it. And, that's the argument that some people say is other people will do it for 30%, but they won't take the small ones where PAR, by taking half, will, and that's still money in my pocket. So it's a good deal. 50 bucks out of $100, if it's going up $100 and I get 50 of it, that's still better than going up the $100, and they can have it for 2 years for doing their work, or 1 year.
Sure.
It's on autopilot. How's that?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, you got your.
Because I used to do what you did, Lloyd, and those can be really weird sometimes.
Yeah, they can be, but yeah, I don't have that many properties to be concerned about. So, and in recent years, I haven't had had the kind of increases that I would have taken it for an appeal anyway. It's been a couple years since I've gone in. But yeah, and I do even the ones that are going up, even on the high end. I usually look at surrounding properties or the comparable properties and say, yeah, okay, everybody else is in that same level. I'm not going to have too much luck at arguing that mine is worth that much less. So, anybody else got anything?
Dwayne,
Yes.
to comment on your question about the COVID, yes, they are lying to you. I'm in the medical field and they only know what the manufacturers tell them. Also, a vaccination consists of what your body is supposed to be building the immune to. So yeah, they are giving you COVID, they are giving you the flu, but they are certain strands, and you know there are multiple strands of viruses. So now one shot going to protect you from every virus.
Yeah, and they were saying that if this, well, I think this, the current viruses or the current vaccines are somewhat effective for the Delta variant that's going around, but who knows how effective. If they get, if things keep going on and it keeps mutating even more, they might have to develop another. I think they might be developing some additional vaccines in the future here. Anyway, that wasn't what I got on here to discuss, but that's, it does affect us all. It's had an effect on a lot of us landlords, and when the tenants are out of work, and I've only got one right now that I'm struggling with, but I'm working with them.
Well, then I got an off the wall question for you. I discovered there's a company that makes tents that you can actually live in and will work for snow and everything. And it's pretty damn reasonable. So, and they say they meet all the national building codes. So has anybody ever thought about that? Because I'm thinking if you had a bare lot and you can put a 30-foot circular tent on that sucker, you know.
Circular tent? You mean like a yurt?
Yes, a yurt. That's exactly what they are.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know. Hey, I've got a friend. My wife built a yurt down in Texas. In fact, I was there when one year while we were visiting. It was under construction, and I helped stretch the canvas over the roof.
Yeah. So what did you think about it? Do you think that'd work as a rental?
I know there are some resorts are using them as rentals. You may have a little convincing somebody to want to move into one full time around here, but maybe down in a little less severe climate. But hey, I was up in Alaska. Been a while back, about 10 years ago. We were up in Alaska. There was one little area. There was a couple of shops, and each of the little shops was in a yurt, had their own little yurt. And we went in was it Seward? Which town it was out on. It was on the Kenai Peninsula, and it was windy that day. And that's a nice thing about yurt. Yeah, they're so round. There's no flat surfaces on them. It was a gusty, windy day, and the weather was nasty. We go in there, they close the door behind us, and it's like silent. Well, the wind just rolls right around all those round surfaces on the yurt. So,
wow.
Utilities connection.
I say, give me the information.
Google yurt, and they build them out in Oregon. I just Googled the yurt, and I forget how it's spelled, but
Y-U-R-T. And Oregon is probably the company that, my wife's friend used. I know she got it shipped to Texas from, I believe it was Oregon. They got a lot more out in that part of the country. They had a little more milder climate along the coast.
Well, I understand there's 3 here in Missouri.
And I wouldn't be surprised that they're here in Missouri now. But in fact, they were using the builder. She got a local builder to put it up for her. And part of the agreement with the local builder was, hey, if I build this for you, I want to use yours as a show. He was hoping to build a little more business base down in Texas for it. Is okay. So she had agreed that, you know, she'd be willing to show it to any potential customers that were looking for you to show them what he did for her. The only problem, was with the, the first winter that got really cold, we were down visiting her again, and she just had PVC pipe. You know, the yurt was sitting up on a platform. They built a platform, and on concrete pilings, and her plumbing was all open underneath, and it got down pretty cold, below freezing, for one night, and her PVC froze up on her. It didn't break. She said, "Well, my plumber told me it wasn't going to break." Well, no, PVC won't break, or PVC. What am I talking about? PEX.
PEX. Oh,
PEX.
true.
I'm sorry. Yeah, PEX. PEX pipe. It won't break maybe on it just being frozen, but the water's not going to flow through. It'll still freeze up on you, and it just won't break. And so we ran to the hardware store, got some extra electric heaters, and set them down there underneath her yurt, and we kind of blew it with a fan and blew some warm moisture. By the afternoon when the sun came out, she had water flowing again.
Yep.
So
I've had a house freeze 5 times and it never, all I did was turn up the heat, warmed it up, and started flowing again.
Good. Did you have PEX plumbing?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's for water service, not for the other, not the sewer.
Yeah. I was from PVC or sewer lines, but
Yep.
water service lines.
I was kind of impressed.
What's the overall cost for utilities and NERT and all this foundation and everything?
Oh, for building a yurt?
Yeah.
That I did not get involved in.
Any guesstimate?
No, I don't. Like I said, I just got involved. We happened to be there while it was under construction, and they called all the crew and all our neighbors and family members together, and we stretched, pulled the one big sheet. Hers was like 28 to 30 feet in diameter.
Yep, that's a big one.
That's a big one, yeah. It was a nice size. And then she had a small, maybe 10-foot diameter one on the side that had her utility, had her bathroom, toilet, shower, sink, and laundry hookups, and a small one off that was the side and was attached with a little tunnel. So that way she kept all that other than the PEX lines underneath, they were all in one unit. And she had some of those, what do they call those, wall hung units for heating and air conditioning. I think she had 2 of them in the big yurt and 1 in the little yurt. They do the heating and air conditioning. So they were heat pump units, like Sanyo was one of the big manufacturers, and Samsung. Yeah. That's what she had for heating and conditioning. So yeah, I'm not sure. Building code, I definitely have to check with your city or county, wherever you're located, to make sure they're conform with the current building codes.
The yurt says it right on their website. They're compliant.
They're compliant, yeah.
But they may just not like the round tint. But
I like it, yeah.
Out where John lives, that'd be an ideal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cheap. The small 12-footers were only like $7,000, and the 30-footer was only like $15,000 or $18,000. But it didn't include like what's talked about. You need a foundation. You need to, put it on.
Yeah, I'm sure my wife's friend probably spent as much on the foundation. Down in Texas, the soil was real sandy too, where they were. She said they dug, poured concrete, and they dug some more holes and poured more concrete. They actually had a whole slab when it was all done. I only saw it when it was all finished, and her builder had built a big platform on it and set it on the pilings. But she actually had a whole round slab of concrete underneath everything, and then had piers coming up out of that the yurts actually stood on. But their platform, the wooden platform, sat on.
I'd see that as a problem with freezing.
Yeah, if you don't have that enclosed, Now, you could have enclosed it like you do for mobile homes. It's like a mobile home. You don't put the underpinning under them. And you could still put, you could wrap the PEX lines with heat tape. They make, that's a common thing for mobile homes. I've been there.
Yep.
You wrap heat tape on them and they got thermostatic controls on them. You plug them in, and as soon as it gets down to close to 32, it kicks on and starts adding a little heat to your water lines to keep them from freezing up. And then it kicks off, it gets up above freezing, it kicks off again. So you don't have to
Maybe do solar heat.
monitor it. Yeah, or solar electric if you're building way out in the country. Yeah.
Yep.
Put some solar panels up. Sure.
I think everything's going electric, so it might be a thing to jump into ahead of time.
Yeah. Yep, seems like it.
Fascinating you knew about those.
Or sorry,
It
it
was
just
shocking
happened.
that I found. Pardon?
Yeah, it just happened that my wife's friend had built one, and she built it because she did have a mobile home until one of those devastating fires in, I think it was 2010, 2011 came through. It was in East Texas and burnt out in the big pine forest. She was backing it up to one of their state parks, the big Lost Pines State Park, and the whole state park. Most every building, there were a few buildings in the state park that got saved, but state park burned and her whole subdivision that was right in the woods next to it burned. She was the only one that built a yurt though. She'd been wanting to do it for a long time, I think. She was kind of a free spirit. So said, hey, she's heard about these yurts. She's going to build a yurt.
Well, what's funny, I'm out around Boise, Idaho, and I started looking at that because my son told me about it. So I called my wife. I found about these tents. She knew all about them. So I go all the way out there to learn what my wife knows. But fascinating. We're going to go stay in one. I know that.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I know you can stay in them. And a lot of I know there's some state parks in Texas that have yurts, and I'm sure there's you don't have to go all the way to Texas probably to find them in some of the resorts. Probably go on Airbnb and you could probably find a yurt. Google on Airbnb, search for a yurt, and you could probably find one close by.
Yep. I think 2 of the 3 that I saw are Airbnbs.
Mm-hmm.
And they say you can build walls inside of them.
Yeah, you can build a wall, kind of privacy wall. And you can't go. Depends on how high you want to go. Like I said, my friend was just she was just a single person. Didn't have any need for too much privacy. And then had some flaps that rolled down over the windows. The window sections were just clear vinyl section in the outer skin of the yurt, and then they had a flap you roll down for privacy, or roll it up. So,
fascinating.
Anyway,
the rentals of tomorrow.
So, yeah,
let them appraise that one.
Mm-hmm. And very flexible as far as kitchen designs too. It's hard. You don't have any straight walls to put them on though. I helped her out with her. She was trying to lay out her kitchen, trying to figure out what to do. And I helped her do a kitchen layout for her when we were done, when it was in early stages of construction. And she wasn't sure what she wanted to do. And so I went through what she wanted to do. And I made a kitchen layout for her and specified just some standard size cabinets that she could use to do the kitchen layout. And she gave that to her builder and said they did it for her. The next time we went down, we had her. I saw my design and was live. I didn't have to get involved in it other than draw out the sketch for her. And actually, I made her some full-size templates, and we laid them on the floor. Now, is this where you want it? This is how we took some cardboard and made templates, or used a lot of tape on the floor.
Hey, Dwayne.
Yes.
I Googled it, and there's a book on Amazon for $14.95. Practical Yurts, Building and Living in one. So you can buy a book on it.
Sure.
Hey, I'm illiterate. You know that, Jim.
Your wife will read it to you.
See, if they got books on tape.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Anyway, let's see, there was somebody at our Tuesday meeting that wanted to talk about alternate housing, since Dwayne's got us off on alternate housing here. And I don't see her out there. Everybody remember what her name was? Got it down. I told her it was the kind of discussion that, yeah, Mary Gallifrey, and I don't see her on here. I said, hey, why don't you come on our Friday meeting and we'll talk about anything, any kind of alternate housing. So, yeah, she didn't get on here today, so.
I like the sea containers they built over here in St. Charles, but once they got that up there, they said, no more of those.
Yeah,
You know?
did they? Okay, I know they had some disputes with the city to getting their self in there. So the city of St. Charles has already banned any more container houses.
Yeah, they wrote it that it's pretty much, that's what I read. They're not gonna allow you to do that.
Yeah.
It's part of our freedom of our country, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it didn't help that the owner, after I guess they won some kind of legal battle with the city. It didn't help. They were somewhat unusual, but afterwards they painted the black and white stripes on the front of the building. Yeah, they took the ridges and just painted like a prison. Looked like a prison.
And now they've done the driveway too.
They done the driveway the same way?
Yeah, because they're artists apparently.
Oh yeah, there's some. If anybody has Netflix, you can see the interior of it. They were featured on a Netflix program, Amazing Interiors, I think it was called.
Wow.
There's an episode of Amazing Interiors that includes the container house here in St. Charles.
Yeah, and they put the windows in upside down.
Yeah, they put the big arch top windows because when the arch is at the top, you really don't see them. You don't appreciate that because most people just look out through the straight part. He put them upside down so you could appreciate the arch on the window.
Is that the deal?
That's what he said. Yeah, they entered. They got a tour of the interior, and it's as wackier on the inside than it is on the outside. Yeah. They used a lot. I got to give them credit for using a lot of recycled materials. And that was one of their goals, is using recycled materials.
Mm.
Because I watched a lot of those container house builds on YouTube too, because I was kind of curious on how I could do that, something like that for storage. Yeah, you can use a lot of people use them for storage containers too. You can use them for a storage facility. Like I know there's companies that take the containers, then cut them up and put walls in to make like four different in a 40-foot container, make 4 storage units in it.
Down on Hall Street over here on this side of the river, or on the other side of the river, they got a guy that's all he does is sell those. They'll put doors or whatever you want in them.
Okay. I might go over and visit him someday. So we're on Hall Street, huh?
Yep. You know where that is?
I know where Hall Street is. Yep.
Okay. Runs along the river there.
Along the river. Had to go over there to where you get your truck serviced. Had to go over there to get a generator on one of my RVs serviced, because that's where the Cummings dealer was along service all the Cummings products, diesels and generators and everything. So yep, been over there a few times.
And you know where you're going.
Anybody else got anything today?
See you later.
Yeah, if not, I think I'm gonna get off here. We got our grandson here today, and my wife's trying to struggling single-handedly. He's getting so big for her to pick up on her own, and he should be getting ready for his nap here shortly. So I got to go rescue my wife.
Okay, all the best to everybody.
Yeah,
Dwayne needs his nap too.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Good seeing y'all.
Take care. Thanks for coming on.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Stay
guys.
safe.